What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development, and today I have something a little bit different. This is my first 60 card build I've ever screwed around with. This is Dinomorphia Paleo Eldlich. Wanted to do something a little bit different, wanted to incorporate the Dinomorphia, and this is where I feel like it's a little bit fun and just a little bit different, something neat to showcase. Of course, before we get into that, as always, shout out to our newest subs of the channel, Sergio, Isaias, Eduardo, Sergio, David, Antonio, Christian, Pastic, and Darth. Thank you all so much for joining the channel. Excited to have you a part, and sorry if I butchered any names there. And as always, a huge shout out to our giveaway winner for the 2 boxes of Ghost for the Past, Jerson Blaze. Congratulations again. If you have not yet commented on the prior video or this video, please do so with your Discord info and we will get that out to you. Otherwise, we will raffle that off to the next person in line. And with all that said, we won't waste any more of your time. Let's go ahead and hop straight into the deck profile. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with the main deck here, and we'll just go ahead and start with the monsters. This is a 60 card build again, so it's going to look a little bit different, a little bit atypical, but just something I was kind of having a little bit of fun with, and a few different ideas and text I kind of wanted to incorporate, and it just felt like it wasn't going to fit in the clean 40, so we rounded it out at 60. Starting off here, we have triple Dinomorphia Theresia. This is what gets you your trap to get your walking skill drain, the new Dinomorphia Rexterm on the field. So this is really important. You want to see it as much as you can. And then triple Diplos. This card is not terrible, but it is not great. It foolishes burials any Dinomorphia card from your deck, so it can dump the other monster, the Theresia, if you want to bring it back later, or just get a trap engrave into rotation. But again, it doesn't do anything by itself, but you do unfortunately need it at 3 because it's a brick in terms of the name that is needed for domain. Of course, you could just cut this down to 2 and try your luck, but 3 has been fine so far. And then the last monster here is 1 Misk. This is basically a Called by the Grave. When you see it, great. If you don't, it's not a big deal. You could play more Fossil Dig in place of this. I played 2, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then rounding out some of the monsters for our last couple pieces, one of those 2 is the Heavenly Prison. Again, it's a trap deck, so you want to see any of your names, and this is just another way to get your names as quick as possible and protects your back row. And then in line with that, the last of the monsters that we run in the deck are 2 Golden Lord for our Eldlich engine. Just again, Golden Lord is Golden Lord, solid card, applies pressure, keeps your grind game going, pretty straightforward. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells. As I mentioned earlier, we do only play 2 Fossil Dig. Believe it or not, even in a 60 card deck, there are times where I get sick of seeing like Theresia, Diplos, and this, and it just makes it redundant. That's why I cut one of these for a Misk, so you can have a better and more decent target. If you already open your playmakers, you can kind of insulate them by adding Misk instead. So 2 is fine. But again, feel free to change ratios. This is just something a little bit different. And then we play triple Foolish Burial Goods. This synergizes with a lot of different things in the deck between the Paleos and the Eldlich cards, as well as a few other things that are in the deck that we'll showcase a little bit later. So definitely a really solid consistency piece for the deck. And then the last consistency piece is triple Pot of Prosperity. This is not necessarily needed. You don't have to play this. You could play other pieces over it, but I just prefer it. I like looking at the 6 cards. You play so many different traps. Just having a diversity of options and picking the one that's right for you just feels good in this deck. So Prosperity is really solid, and you don't need much extra deck space since you're really only resolving some stuff maybe once or twice for the Dinomorphia line. So now onto the traps. This is where things get a little bit interesting. Like I said, we do play the Paleo engine. That's going to be 3 Morella. Again, synergizes well with the Eldlich and a few other pieces that we will get to in the deck tech-wise, and is just a normal monster that lets you either use for link climbing or for a few other plays for Xyz that we have in the extra deck, and synergizes with a tech that we'll get to in a little bit here. But this is your Foolish Burial for any spell trap. Also, obviously, puts Dinomorphia traps in the grave if you really need it. 2 Oonoides, this is your MST. 2 Dinomiskis, this is your non-destructive removal. Still targets though, and discarding a card is not the end of the world in this build, since you just really are only resolving the main trap cards, and you can get away with discarding Eldlich pieces and all that good stuff. And then 2 Canadia. This is our Book of Moon, and then we do actually still play 2 Rise to full height. I really do like this in this build for instances where your opponent does find ways to out the Rexterm through Dark Ruler No More, Droplet, things like this. Rise to full height really just kind of makes that dead and just still kind of guarantees you that victory next turn. And in a deck where life points get down to less than 100 really quick in this build, protecting yourself from battle is really, really key, and so Rise just helps with that a lot. So that's mainly the Paleo engine there, kind of including Rise in that little bit of stuff. And then for the Dinomorphia piece, we play Triple Domain. This is the Anaconda, quote unquote, of the deck. It dumps fusion materials from your deck to grave and then special summons from the extra deck. This is one of your 2 main play starters, and in line with that, we also play Frenzy. This is the newest one from Dimension Force and is arguably all around better. They're both the same, pay half your life points to fusion. The Frenzy sends one from extra deck and main deck, and Dinomorphia has to send both from main deck. So, but again, you just want to max out on these because it's how you make your plays. So, and then moving on from there, we have the final Dinomorphia trap, which is the 1 Sonic. This is the counter trap that negates spell or trap activations. And you just wanted a counter trap in here because both the 2 different types of traps, the normals and then the counters, protect you from different things, some from battle and some from effect damage. And you want at least one of each that covers both just to be absolutely safe. And it's just a good additional target to set. And now kind of the main spice of the deck and why I wanted to build this in the first place is Triple Survival's End. This card is insane in this deck. It has 2 effects if you don't know what it does. The first effect is just when you flip it on activation, it destroys all normal monsters on the field, and then you special summon level 4 lower dinos up to the amount that you destroyed. So this pops Brave tokens, this pops Sword Soul tokens, this pops your Eldliches because they are considered normal monsters as well while they're on the field. It pops your Paleos, and then you can just special summon cards like Theresia or Diplos or Misk from your deck. Then its second effect is you can banish it from the grave, target a Dino monster on your field and a card your opponent controls, and pop them both. Both of these effects on activation and the banish effect from grave are not hard once per turns. So if you have the ability to flip 3 of these and then banish 3 from grave, you can still do that. But this is really what makes the deck what it is. It's just a really powerful card. You don't need to necessarily play Paleos and Eldlich in here. You could just pick one of the 2 and cut the deck down. But this card is just amazing. It's another way to get the Theresia and just really helps carry the deck a ton. Highly recommend that card. And then for Eldlich, we play Triple Scarlet Sanguine. This just gets your Golden Lord and is important to max out because then it gets you your other Eldliches, the Golden Lands that are normal monsters, which can help trigger Survival's End. So in that same lane, we play Triple Conquistador, our Pop, and Triple Hakiro, our DD Crow of the deck. And that's it for the Eldlich package. You just want to see the traps, use them for value if you have the chance, but they're also just there for Survival's End as well. So onto the kind of more generic traps that round out this deck profile. 2 Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Strike. These are important, but you don't want to max out on them by any means because you're already paying a lot of life and you want to kind of play it somewhat safe. Judgment you can, but Strike, since it requires a specific amount and not just having your life points, you want to be careful with this. You want to make sure this is used more earlier in the game as opposed to later, but it's still really solid nonetheless. But again, we just wanted a variety of interruptions, so only 2 Judgment and 2 Strike in this. You can always side more or main more depending on your preference. 2 Torrential, just a good board wipe. 2 Trap Trick, again, believe it or not, there were hands when I was testing 3 where I kept opening multiples and I was sick of it. I even switched one to the gold rare, hoping that would change things up a little bit in terms of seeing it. Obviously, that's more of a placebo effect, but yeah, it's just additional names of pretty much almost every card in your deck. So really powerful card. And then the other card that people really are hyped on that makes this deck what it is Ferret Flames. Basically, if your life points are lower than the combined attack of all face-up monsters that your opponent controls, they shuffle monsters back into the deck, I believe, so that what they have left is equal to your life points, equal to or less than, which usually by the time you pay to get down to like 500 or less is just going to be another board wipe. So really powerful card. Again, non-targeting, non-destructive removal, since it's one of those cards that affects the player, so to speak. Not really, but just to give you that idea. So that is it for the main deck. A absolutely nuts 60 card deck, but it's something that no matter what your hand is, you're going to kind of be happy with it because the set 5 pass really just does a bunch of different things. So all right, on to the extra deck. We start off with 3 Dinomorphia Rexterm. This is our new guy from Dimension Force. Basically says your opponent cannot activate monster effects whose monsters they control have attack equal to or greater than your life points. So the lower your life points go, the less your opponent can do. Really powerful card. That's why we also play things like Rise to Full Height and stuff to help keep this guy alive and not have to worry about that stuff. So definitely a really solid card there. This is your win condition basically. Triple Kentragina. This on summon, just quick effect in general, you can pay half your life points, banish a trap, it copies that effect. So you're basically activating Frenzy or Domain to put this on board by paying half, then you pay half again to use this effect to copy what you just sent, then spit out the big guy, and then the big guy can pay half again to make all monsters your opponent controls equal to your life points, which is what helps the skill drain be live. So just by seeing 1 Dinomorphia trap, you're getting down to 1,000 life points just right then and there. So, and then 2 Stealthburgia. You could play 3. I thought I had a 3rd lying around, but I apparently didn't. But it's really not needed. Kentragina and Rexterm are more the powerful ones. If you're playing a more solemn heavy build or a trap heavy build, since this prevents paying life points for that, then this is definitely the way to go. But it's not really needed. Again, you're only resolving the traps a couple times, and then you should pretty much be in a simplified game state. But that's all for your Dinomorphias. And then for Lynx, just a quick general utility package: 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, and 1 Link Spider. You can play Access Code if you want, but again, you want to sit on Rexterm. You don't want to get rid of it to make Access Code or things like that, so this is perfectly fine. Then the Link Spider just for climbing for either Paleos or just to make sure that that Eldlich name goes in grave. And then the Xyz, we play 1 Anomalocaris and 1 Opabinia for when the Paleo traps come up. You could play Toad as well, but I just think searching the traps is more important, and having that type of removal is better with these guys. And then the last 2 are, of course, Downard and Zeus. The side deck is still a work in progress. Like I said, this is my first 60 card build, so a lot of stuff I would side, I went ahead and threw in the main deck, so it's just a little bit different, but you could still mess with things like Anti-Spell or Lava Golem, the main stuff for going first and second. It's not a big deal. But with all that said, that is the deck profile, main and extra 60 card, stupidly nuts Paleo Dinomorphia Eldlich deck. Pretty wild out there. So thank you all again so much for watching. Again, a huge shout out to all of our new subs and our giveaway winner. Stay tuned. We will have some more crazy stuff coming up. Still have some stuff to do on the Punk from Post Difo. But yeah, thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.